covers it up. Now, performance-wise, this thing does have the Qualcomm Snapdragon 855 chipset, an octa-core CPU, an Adreno 640 GPU, and 8 gigs of RAM on the base models, and 12 gigs of RAM on the top tier model. Now, what I can tell you about the performance of this device is that it's still a really good performing machine. First of all, 8 gigs of RAM on the base models, that's still more RAM than the S21, or the same amount of RAM as the S21 and the S21 Plus, but the 12 gig of RAM option on the S10 Plus is more than either the S21 or S21 Plus can actually be equipped with. So that in and of itself is another crazy thing about the S10 Plus. So if you get the top tier model of the S10 Plus, you're getting more RAM than both the S21 and the S21 Plus. But that's even just in the RAM management section. The RAM management is still really good, but really anything you're going to do about this phone is going to be perfectly fast. You know, if you're somebody who does a bunch of light tasks on your phone, if you're just somebody who wants to go ahead, just text people, call people, go on Snapchat, Snapchat people back. The cameras on here are good, like I stated. If you want to go on Instagram and multitask between those apps and even do some schoolwork, if you want to photo edit, something like that, you're going to be perfectly fine on this device. This is not going to be a slow machine. It's not going to be, under equipped. You still have a lot of capability on this phone. It's only just a couple years old. However, even with, heavier intensive gaming, if you're somebody who wants to, download the craziest games and play them on here, you're probably going to be able to handle it. This phone is not going to be a slow phone, by any means. It's going to be handle pretty much everything you throw at it. But there is kind of a little bit of a downside, and that's the smoothness factor. I've said this year over year over year. Basically, the smoothness factor of this device, it's not really there, It's not really like a super smooth device. It's not like you're going to power this thing on and feel like you still have a super, up-to-date phone as of this point. Because when you have, the 120 hertz refresh rates and all that stuff, that really adds a lot to the whole entire smoothness factor. So that's a humongous thing to keep in mind. The one thing that Androids are really getting better at is making the overall performance smoother because of the refresh rate. I really wish it would be because of the software, but with the newer versions of software and the newer phones, they're definitely getting better. But for sure, when it comes down to it, this device, the fastest, the speed is all there. It just so happens that the smoothness factor just isn't really there right now. But in terms of performance, that pretty much covers it up.